Hey, how you doing? It's David Duford here at Buy Life Insurance for Burial, where I help people like you find affordable life insurance. And in today's video, I'm specifically talking about getting and qualifying for term life insurance for specifically seniors who are 70 or over the age of 70. So if you or a loved one, or if you're looking for life insurance on yourself or a loved one, then this video will be a good overall introduction to see what your options are, give you some ideas on rates and carriers available and options for you in good and bad health. So let's just get started and see what to expect. So let's talk about a quick overview. Again, I'm going to formally introduce you to myself and my business shortly, and then tell you how term life insurance works for seniors over 70, as well as give you the reasons why seniors over 70 do purchase term life insurance. We'll talk about options available for said seniors over 70 for term life insurance. Talk about riders, what they are, why you may be interested in getting some. Then we'll talk about exams, no exams, should you take one, shouldn't you? Talk about the pros and cons of those. And then also how much coverage you can apply for. And then discuss the concern about health. If it's bad, what are your options for life insurance? And then end the call with talking about how to qualify and the next steps in doing so. So my name is David Duford. I am the owner and founder of BuyLifeInsuranceForBurial.com, again, where I help people find quality life insurance. I've been licensed as a life insurance agent since 2011. I've helped over 3,000 families with their life insurance needs since I originally got my license. I also do other things besides sell life insurance, like author books. In fact, down there in the lower left-hand corner, I authored the official guide to buying final expense life insurance. You can find that on Amazon. I'm also a life insurance agency owner. I work with agents across the country and I coach them to help people in their own communities with their life insurance needs. And then last but not least, I'm a family man. My fourth child is on the way, third daughter, and my wife and I have been married almost 10 years. So that's a long time, seems like it. Anyways, let's get started. So let's first define what is life insurance, specifically what is term life insurance for seniors over 70. So just in case we don't know, we want to make sure we got the groundwork laid. Term life insurance provides a death benefit over a predetermined period of time. The idea behind term life insurance is that from X date to Y date, you're covered for how much ever coverage you got. And throughout that period of time, generally speaking, premiums remain the same. So you pay a predictable premium each and every month. It's one of the best ways to get the most coverage for the least amount of money. Term insurance is sometimes known as pure insurance because there's no underlying account balance. It's not tied to the stock market or interest rates. You just pay a premium, you know what it is, it's predetermined for a set period of time. And its only job is to pay a death benefit if you die within that term. So for seniors over 70, there's no inherent difference between the term insurance available to somebody younger or than 70 versus what you could get now. It's the same kind of product, it just pays a death benefit when you die. As long as you die within the term period of time, whether it's 10, 15, or longer years, then it does its job as it's supposed to. So let's talk about some reasons why somebody would buy a term life insurance plan as a senior, 70 or older. So big reasons would be final expenses and cremation expenses. Maybe you just want a little bit of money set aside to cover those final expenses. That's a good reason to own a life insurance plan. Also, income replacement. Perhaps you're afraid if your spouse dies that your lifestyle would change. So maybe you're looking to insure that person so that if your spouse died before you, you could rest assured your lifestyle wouldn't change too dramatically and you wouldn't have to sell the house in a fire sale and try to figure out how to live on a quarter of the income. So life insurance plan is great to supplement for a more comfortable situation upon someone's death. Financially, gift of love, maybe you just want to give money to a loved one like a child or a grandchild. You want to help them get started in their own lives. Mortgage payment protection, very good reason to buy term insurance. Maybe you've got a mortgage and you want to protect against it if you die and have money available to pay the mortgage or have money to pay down the mortgage completely. Term life insurance is a good reason to buy it to do that. And same thing with any kind of loan pay downs, kind of like mortgage protection. Maybe you have a business loan, maybe you owe somebody money. You just want to insure against that if you die that the money will be there. So let's talk about options for term life insurance for seniors over 70. So here are the term life insurance options available. So mostly what you're going to see are 10, 15, maybe 20-year terms, mostly 10, 15-year terms, and then universal life plans. So just to give you a quick explanation, 10, 15, 20, those numbers relate to the length of time of years that the policy is enforced. So if you're 70 and you can qualify you want coverage till you're 85, you've got a 15-year term insurance plan. If you want to go beyond a period of time, and again, as you get up there too, one thing I'll mention, if you're over 70, if you're 75 or 80, you may not have access to these 20 and 15-year terms. It just depends on your age. You may only have access to the 10-year term and maybe a universal life product. So universal life product allows you to write up coverage beyond a period of years that maybe term is just not available. So let's just take some quick looks at what's available. I'm going to show you quickly a male-female non-smoker $100,000 coverage for 10, 15, 20 if it's available, and a universal life plan for a 70-year-old. Okay, so we can go do different price ranges. The goal here is not to tell you what you will be paying, but to give you an idea of a starting point, what something like each product would run. If you're older than 70, obviously it's going to be a little more expensive, but again, this is just a touchstone to kind of give you an idea. So let's get started. Okay, so you're looking at a male 70-year-old non-smoker, 10-year term for $100,000 coverage. Again, these are preferred prices. This could vary dramatically depending on your health, but I just wanted to give you a sample of different companies and what's available. I like to do business with Sagicor personally, but some of these are fully underwritten. The Sagicors most likely would not be. They would just do they would just pull your medical records, so that's convenient. If we look at a 15-year term, we're going to be looking at somewhere approximately a little bit more in money. As you can see, the prices have gone up a little bit more. Then if we jump up to a 20-year term, that should give a big price difference. So yeah, now we're looking well over $200 for $100,000 in coverage. And so lastly here, let's look at no-lapse universal life plans. So just real quick, no-lapse universal life plans are designed never to cancel because you reach a certain age. You pay the premium that's defined in the policy, and the guarantee they give in return is it will never cancel because of your age getting old. So as you can see, the premium is much larger. But if the importance here is for a protected death benefit no matter the age, you need permanent protection for a permanent problem, then a no-lapse universal life plan is a pretty good idea. Now let's take a look at $100,000 in a 10-year term for females, non-smokers. So you can see the prices are going to be a little less expensive for women. Again, preferred mostly pricing. If we go up to a 15-year term, you'll see again the pricing is going to bump up by a little bit. It's going to get a little bit more expensive. Now a 20-year term, if you want to go from 70 to 90 years old, it's going to go up considerably more depending on the company. And then last, we're going to look at the no-lapse universal life plans. And what we're looking at here is the same thing. A considerable price increase, but for guaranteed protection to the point that you do pass away. So one thing to be aware of is whenever you buy a life insurance plan, some of them will offer add-ons or additional coverage. These are what are called riders. They essentially add on to your life insurance policy to give what we call sometimes living benefit advantages, whereas a pure life insurance policy simply pays when you die. The add-ons, the riders, can do other things for you even if you don't die. So here's what you got potentially available depending on the company you go with. So some companies offer what's called critical illness benefits, that when you get diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, strokes, those kind of events, as defined in the policy, they'll pay a lump sum out to you as you live. Also, some plans will do return of premium. That's where you pay for however the length of time is with the term insurance, and then you get your money returned back to you if you get to the end of the program. Accelerated death benefits, where if you're terminally ill, diagnosed terminally ill, you can get a portion of your death benefit while you're alive instead of dead. And nursing home riders help offset the cost of nursing homes. Now, again, these are not guaranteed that you have access to these. It just depends on the company. And sometimes, and many times really, they're additional expense. So it's going to add on to those premiums you saw earlier if they were in fact available with those companies. So one thing you may be wondering is, should you get an exam or should you pass? So most of the time, if your health is good enough and if you're not getting a tremendous amount of coverage, exams are optional. And usually what exams include are urinalysis, blood, and physicals. Some carriers, many of the ones that we looked at, they just require you to sign off on it. Maybe do a quick phone interview, but there's no actual exam involved. The only reason I would suggest taking an exam is when it's required. So that's when you're looking at a substantial amount of coverage, well over $100,000. And this is specific to people 70 and older, okay? A lot of these companies begin to require exams at those ages because they want to be absolutely certain somebody at an advanced age who's applying for coverage is going to be around long enough to pay off what it is that their coverage is. So they'll require exams just to get the best amount of information before giving them an approval. Now, the reason you wouldn't take an exam is if you just, besides just hating exams and needles and blood draw and all that stuff, the only other reason not to take an exam is if you just didn't need it. So some of the smaller amounts of coverage, you'll find they'll just pull medical information to come up with an insurance approval. They just don't need to do the full forward approval process or examination process to come up with a decision. In fact, most people probably will be at those levels of where there's no exams required as far as coverage goes. So how much coverage can you get just depends on the company you use, but it's very likely we can get exactly what you need. The minimums in most cases are around $25,000 to $50,000 for term insurance for seniors over 70. Just again depends on the company. Maximums for non-exam circumstances usually $250,000 to $500,000 roughly. It's going to depend, but if you're dead set on not doing an exam, as long as you're under these numbers, generally speaking, you probably won't have to do an exam. Above that, yes, you're going to have to do an exam. If you want millions in coverage or just $1 million or $500,000 or more, a lot of these companies are going to start requiring exams, but there's no big deal. That's just normal. It used to be before modern day life insurance, everybody had to take an exam. So it's nice and convenient that we don't have to. But when you get to sizable amounts of coverage at advanced ages, you could understand why they'd want to do it. So what if your health what if you're not confident about your health? What if you feel like maybe your health isn't the best that it has been, or that you're not sure they're even going to approve you? So can you get any life insurance? Well, I can tell you, yes, you can get life insurance. The thing is, we got to know what bad means. And if you do have health that's not opportune for term life insurance, you may end up getting other things called, whole life insurance or permanent insurance or guaranteed acceptance insurance or return of premium insurance. So real quick, bad health to me, when somebody can't qualify for term, is usually things like progressive diabetes, serious mental health issues, recent cardiac or cancer events, lung disease, lots of medications taken especially, it just depends on the circumstances, but you get what I'm saying is there's indications there have been serious health issues or continue to be serious health issues. That's where we want to revert to some of these Plan B and Plan C options. So let me explain those. So if you get first day full coverage, what that essentially means is that you got coverage for first day full coverage on natural and accidental death from the first date. Now, a lot of plans where it would be declined with term insurance are completely acceptable with these plans. You'll just get less coverage for the same dollar amount you intend to spend. So for example, insulin users, usually tough to get coverage. Not too hard with a first day full coverage whole life insurance plan. Same thing with COPD in many cases. We can get first day full coverage with some companies. If your health is really bad, we've talking like recent within months, serious health events, perhaps all you'll qualify for are these return of premium plans. And the idea behind that is you got to wait typically for 2 years before you're fully covered for natural death. And why would you want to consider something like that? It's only because there's no other options. I don't push people into these plans. I hate selling these plans, but they're better than nothing when there's no other options. And I've seen people who've taken these out, now they're approved, that live well beyond 2 years, and they're so thankful they did, because if they waited, they'd have to start the 2 years at that point. So it's good just to buy it and get it out of the way. So let's talk about the application process. It's very simple to apply. You just get an agent you like that seems like they know what you're talking about. I'll nominate myself. Everything that we talk about over the phone about your goals and your health is held in strict confidence. There's no obligation either to get a quote. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes. And then if you decide to proceed, we do the paperwork via email or over the phone. No visit is involved or required. And then we usually get a decision within several days to weeks. And then you get your policy in the mail and that you're approved, if that's what ends up happening. And that's it. Pretty simple process. So let me describe to you the next steps if you want to do this. So what I'd recommend you to do is one of two things. Go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. You can click the contact box at the top of the page or the message box at the below. Send me a message. Tell me what you're looking for. Or call me at 888-626-0439 to speak with me live. If you just want to call, that's fine. Leave a message if you don't get me. I speak to a lot of people all the time, so I'm always on the phone. And I'll get back to you pretty quickly, promise. And I can tell you in 5 or 10 minutes how it's going to work. If it's great, perfect. If it's not, no hard feelings. It's not going to give you a hard time. If you like this video, leave a comment, thumbs that up, and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is David Duford from Buy Life Insurance for Burial. Thank you for watching.